South Africa snake on plane. Deadly cobra in cockpit forces emergency landing. It felt like just another flight for South African pilot Rudolf Erasmus. Until he noticed an extra passenger on his plane at 11,000 feet in the air. However, it wasn't a human, but a cobra slithering under his seat. To be truly honest, it's as if my brain did not register what was going on, he told the BBC. It was a moment of awe, he added, saying he initially thought the cold feeling on his back was his water bottle. I felt this cool sensation, sort of, crawling up my shirt, he said. Thinking he may not have closed the bottle properly and water might have been dripping down his shirt. As I turned to the left and looked down, I saw the cobra, receding its head backwards underneath the seat. He then made an emergency landing on his flight from Bloemfontein to Pretoria. The private plane, a Beechcraft Baron 58, was carrying 4 passengers, as well as the snake. A bite from a Cape cobra is lethal and can kill someone in just 30 minutes. So, not wanting to cause panic, Mr. Erasmus says he thought carefully before calmly telling those on board that there was an extra unwanted voyager. He was also so scared the snake might have gone to the back and cause mass panic. In the end, he decided to tell them. I did inform the passengers. Listen, the snake is inside the aircraft, it's underneath my seat. So let's try and get down to the ground as soon as we can. So how did the passengers react? Mr. Erasmus described a moment of absolute silence. You could hear a needle drop and I think everyone froze for a moment or two. Pilots are trained for lots of scenarios, but certainly not for dealing with snakes in the cockpit, he said, telling the BBC that panicking would have just made the situation worse. The plane made an emergency landing in the city of Welkom. However, the presence of the snake, although shocking, was not a total surprise. 2 people working at Worcester Flying Club, where the plane first took off, said they had earlier spotted a reptile taking refuge under the aircraft. They tried to grab it, but without success. Mr. Erasmus said he tried to find the snake before boarding the aircraft with his passengers. But, unfortunately, it was not there, so we all then safely assumed that it must have crawled out overnight or earlier that morning, which was on Monday. The slithering passenger is still missing, as engineers who then stripped the plane are yet to find it. Mr. Erasmus has been hailed a hero, with South African Civil Aviation Commissioner, Poppy Kosa, praising his great airmanship indeed, which saved all lives on board, according to the News 24 site. But the modest pilot says he doesn't feel like he's special for what he did. I think that's a bit blown up if I can be direct, he said. It's also my passengers that remained calm as well. South African pilot forced to make emergency landing after deadly cobra discovered in cockpit. A South African pilot has told how he discovered a deadly cobra in the cockpit at 11,000 feet, forcing him to make an emergency landing. Rudolf Erasmus had been flying from Bloemfontein to Pretoria when he noticed the deadly Cape cobra, whose bite can kill someone within half an hour, slithering under his seat. 4 passengers were on board the private Beechcraft Baron 58 flight at the time. He told the BBC, "To be truly honest, it's as if my brain did not register what was going on. As I turned to the left and looked down, I saw the cobra, receding its head backwards underneath the seat. He said he thought carefully before telling the other passengers about the unwanted snake, saying he was scared that it could go to the back and cause mass panic. You could hear a needle drop and I think everyone froze for a moment or two, he said. The plane made an emergency landing in the city of Welcome, about halfway between Bloemfontein and Pretoria. The snake had been spotted at the Worcester Flying Club where the flight first took off, attempting to take refuge under the aircraft. Mr. Erasmus said he tried to find the snake before boarding. But, unfortunately, it was not there. So we all then safely assumed that it must have crawled out overnight or earlier that morning, which was on Monday. The snake is still yet to be found. According to South African media, Mr. Erasmus has been hailed as a lifesaver for his great airmanship by the country's Civil Aviation Commissioner, Poppy Kosa. However, the modest pilot said that was a bit blown up, if I can be direct, adding, "It's also my passengers that remained calm as well."